Welcome back to another AOT Spotlight video, everybody, on the channel. Today we're gonna go over Hans or Hannes or Hans, or we can call him Porn Stash. I don't know, but anywho, I'm gonna call him Hans. Hans is an interesting character. He brings a lot of inevitability to the game, where every wall counter he gets just gives him gives him like a half point of damage. So the more the game is played, like you block, he blocks. He also uses other effects to get counters. He just gets more powerful to a max of 7 damage, which is insane. Plus, he has one of the only speed resets in the game. There's another one it's on a foundation, and then there's him. And that's it right now, currently, as of recording for for AOT Spotlight. Maybe set 2 will have more resets. Please, it would be really great. So let's get into the deck. The deck's revolving around getting your wall counters maxed out to 7 as fast as possible, so we can draw a million cards with Wall Maria's Might. As a Crystal player, this card is amazing. It doesn't sound the greatest, like you draw 1 card for every 2, but if you're able to rip off multiples of these in a turn, you're drawing like 6 to 10 cards if you've generated enough wall counters. It's crazy. This card is fantastic. And then on block, you get to with Hans, you get to also draw a card on block and get a counter, which is great. It progresses your game state. 3 copies of Besieged. 3 difficulty. It's a 3 difficulty attack that gets more damage, and it can only be blocked by cards with a block mod of 3 or greater. This card is maybe the best attack in my hero spotlight, and because I just did an all my 3 profile in AOT spotlight, just because like it can't block itself, which is really, I don't know. It probably should have been able to block itself, to be honest with you, but yeah, this card's cracked. Especially if you're able to stack damage and then chuck it at the end of a turn. 3 copies of Grab the Moment. We want some board control. We do play Hindering the Armored Titan. So if we're able to freeze multiples, we get to draw a card. So in the AOT Spotlight, there isn't a lot of card draw outside of like Wall Maria and a few other effects. So this gives us some more supplemental draw if we're able to. So we got Hindering the Armored Titan. Freeze the Foundation, which is great because it works with, you play this, then you play that, and you draw a card. You could probably swap these out for maybe another attack if you don't want to play the freeze package, but I think freezing people actually is a good strategy. It just, you have to be able to play into it. Unfortunately, like we're playing a foundation that, did I put it in here? I don't think I did. No, Fine Forest. Nope. I didn't put it in here. But so since our opponent's going to be blocking our giant moves, they're gonna have to commit foundations, right? So we're gonna have to freeze some things. Play fighting. This attack can only be blocked by attack card. Attack cannot be blocked by attack cards because more often than not, people hold attacks, and so this could be a free kabillion damage because they can't block it. So they're forced to DR it or block with their +3 block modded cards on their foundations, and then you besiege them to death. We got 4 wall artillery. It's just like playing Hannes on an attack. It's add a wall counter and then to a card in your stage, and then it gets +1 damage for every 2 wall counters. So it's basically double Hannes. We got 2 copies of vertical maneuvering equipment because this card's cracked and it's not unique. And yeah, this card's just dumb. The garrison, because it's on theme, because it gives us stuns so we can freeze people. So this is how we can get stunned this way. There is a foundation that says commit. This attack gains stun and I think a damage. But I think this is just better because we can't commit them to pass checks anyways. Also, it has a garrison form. Hi Garrison, our buddy Garrison. Says sacrifice, add 2 wall counters to a card in your stage, only playable for characters to carry. So we sacrifice this thing into damage if we need to push that extra point of damage. I don't know if this is the correct number of raise walls, but we put 4 of them in, just because. We add a wall counter to a card in our stage, draw a card, cool. Also, response after you block with this card. The blocked attack loses shift and you draw a card. obviously, I guess the 4-check tribal deck is good now. Who knows? Who knew? So we do this so the backups don't get built, so we don't have to deal with it. Foundation-wise, we play as many 0 diffs as we're allowed. We play Raise the Walls, Faith in the Walls. So when we play this card, or when we block with it, or we're gonna play it to build it, we gain a wall counter. Last second dodge to get -2 speed and attacks lose throw, because it's one of the only pieces of throw hate. Fortify walls because it's really good speed hate in a format with not a lot of defense. Aaron's Insight. I don't know. This card probably gets cut, but we need low blocks. So we flip if we have 5 or more wall counters. We get to look at our rival's hand. So Hana's doesn't spend his counters, so we're going to always have 5 or more wall counters when we're really going in for the turn, so we can see what the opponent's block zones are. Shotgun Revelation. Just in case we commit our character and we need to reset speed, we sacrifice this to reset speed. Funeral Pyres to get -2 damage, because sometimes we have to get -2 damage and then partial block. Sacrifice for the cause. We discard cards to get more damage, and then we could sacrifice to stop a damage reduction. Nullifying Force. Speaking of damage reduction, we flip after an attack is played. Its damage cannot be can't be modified. This works offensively and defensively. So if you, so when you play your attack, it gets the damage from Hana's, and then you flip, and then you get this, because your static will fire before responses. So you can lock your damage in at a certain amount, and then also, conversely, you can lock your opponent's damage to little if they don't have like a floating damage pump. Respected Commander, this came in after I saw that my block zones were shit. It's a 1/5 flip for -2 damage. Unfortunately, it's like the DR, like if the Titan attacks didn't exist, the DR pack would be really good in AOT. But since the Titan attacks, the 4-check attacks exist, yeah, it sucks. But against other non-4-check attacks, having DR on board is really good because it allows you to save cards in your hand. Speaking of which, we need more DR, plus Deadlock Enhanced Stun 2 is always good. Flip, this attack gets -3 damage, and then we can like use our Funeral Pyres to get another -2 for a -5, and we basically delete an attack. Unless they're a Titan attack, and then it's, you know, they have 1 or 2 points left. So good thing these things don't say minimum 1. So if your character has like chaos and fire, you can use these to put stuff under 0. So so that's my Hana's deck, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and until next time, take care.